Hello everyone. Welcome to the Optimistic M. I'm your host, Michelle. Welcome to my channel. As always, it's a pleasure to have you here. So first before I get to the main business today today was a slow day at work, unfortunately. But I mean, we got a lot of training done, my new coworker and everything. And you know what? It's funny because as I look at the different comments and streams on Facebook and whatnot, I'm flabbergasted, really. You know, in my last video, I stated I was disappointed. But now, my disappointment is within who we are. But don't get me wrong. I'm all for free speech. And let me get to my point real quick before you guys are wondering, what the hell is he talking about? Well, as you all know, Trump has been elected president of the United States. And in my first video, I mentioned, hey, I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Hillary either. I didn't vote for neither one of them. But what I can do is I can accept what it is reality. I mean, what's done is done. Move on, right? And I also stated before that, I'm not sure what the outcome in the future is going to be. And I really just hope that he turns out to be a good president. I don't know. There's people rooting for him. And if anything, I mean, the guy needs some support. I mean, I don't think... I don't have no idea. I don't know this guy. I can respect him as a business person. And besides everything else, I really don't know him. I see all these news articles about him doing this and that. And that's all I see. So that's mainly why I didn't vote for the guy. Because of that, and I'm not talking about the pussy snatching and stuff like that. I mean, let's be real. I mean, most guys talk that way to an extent, and he just got caught. That's it. But I'm talking about the other stuff. I mean, people say he's racist. I mean, I don't really have any proof that the guy is racist. I mean, there's a lot of racist people that do support him, though. I mean, if you look at Hillary's camp, and I'm going to use this as a prime example because it's ironic because we have all these... I'm not talking about the peaceful protests. I'm talking about the hate speech and all this stuff that we've been seeing across social media just in the last 24 hours. I mean, before, it's always that one person, right? The one bad egg in the group that makes it bad for everybody else. But it's like you have people that go out and they're like the extremists, well, we're gonna just screw it up. We're going to burn the place down kind of thing since we can't have our way. And I did see a Twitter post, a Trump posted, that's unfair. I mean, it is unfair because what if Hillary had won, right? I'm pretty sure the same thing would happen, just with a different group of people. And it's like, now we got California wanting to annex itself from the United States. I mean, I've seen this before. When Obama first got elected, it was like the end of the world. It was like, he's gonna be like the Antichrist. Now, granted, he wasn't perfect. I mean, I think it's safe to say that there's no one that's perfect on this planet. And yeah, he did some things that I disagree with, as people tend to do, and no one's ever going to be truly happy. There's always going to be somebody that's disappointed. That's something I'm learning from watching the Designated Survivor with Keith Sutherland. Anyways, dude from 24. It's a great show if you haven't watched it. I totally recommend it. But, okay, since I'm on the subject, I'm going to briefly explain to you what the show is about. So, there's this term called Designated Survivor. Designated Survivor sits out and kind of like, if something happens, he's the guy that everyone's going to go to. And basically, there was like a major terrorist attack on the Capitol building in the show. And he's like the only one left. I'm not going to tell you anything else beyond that because it'll be a spoiler. Anyways, basically, the guy became the president of the United States. And he was like the dude of like housing development. I mean, that's a big jump if you think about it. It's like you go from the dude, like, probably the lowest guy on the totem pole to the president. I mean, and he becomes that overnight. Anyways, so he has to go through this this whole trial of doing the right thing and then going against doing. He has to go back and forth between doing the right thing and doing, what's right for now, kind of thing. Why am I stating this? Why am I relating this? How am I relating this to now? Everyone isn't going to be happy, first of all. You should know this. We're all human beings on this planet. Whether it's the United States presidency election, whether it's, what's going on in Syria, whether it's whatever. Everyone isn't going to be happy. We have to come to terms with this. So whether Trump lost, whether he won, whether Hillary won it, whether she lost and she did lose, everyone isn't going to be happy. And I bring this up because this is where my disappointment comes from. When people, they say one thing and they do another thing. They go out and, well, since we can't have it our way, we're going to burn the place down. I'm not saying everyone that's protesting is doing that. I'm stating there's just a few bad eggs that are just taking it beyond and, in essence, making us look even worse off than when the election started in the first place. Because I told you before, my honest opinion, the election was a freaking circus. Okay? That's my opinion. And there's people that are not going to agree with me. That's fine. Whatever. I'm not going to unfriend you because, you may think something different. If I did that, I would have no friends. I mean, nobody would. Right? You probably have like a very few. And people believe what they want, and people are going to disagree with me on this, but there are zealots out there. There are zealots on both sides of the fence. You know who you are. I'm just going to put it out there. There's people that believe, and no matter what you tell them, no matter what you say to them, they will believe with absolute truth that's the absolute truth of what they believe in that candidate. There's nothing you can do to sway them, and that's fine. There's people like that. I've ran into people like that, so I know. And the sad thing is those same people, I mean, not the zealots alone, but the extremists, they will go out and just do whatever. Even during the whole election process, you'd have people like on both sides of the fence. People that start fights, during rallies and stuff like that. I mean, it's just sad. That's my disappointment as an American, is that the fact that there's people like that make us look bad. I mean, like I said, I don't know who Trump is deep down. I don't. But I am willing to give the guy a chance. And I honestly believe that if we truly get behind this concept that, hey, my guy or the person I voted for didn't win because my guy didn't win, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. It sucks, but life goes on. It's not the end of the world yet. Okay, let's hopefully it doesn't come to that. I'm just I'm just hoping that people can come together and just be a part of the solution, not the problem. And there's people that's been talking about, finding a solution this whole time. And it's like, what happened? What happened to that? I mean, protesting is one thing. Peaceful protest is fine. That's a part of, freedom of speech. I get it. I understand it. I can't personally say that I've gone out and protested something. The furthest I've gone is posting something on Facebook or on here right now, like my opinion. As far as going out, I mean, it's kudos to whoever does that. I mean, even the national anthem thing. I mean, call it what you want. People, this is a whole other topic, but people will say one thing. I mean, they'll just say, "Man, that's unpatriotic. What is wrong with them?" That may be, but there is a point to why they're doing what they're doing, and there's a point to why people are protesting this election. But I think also that people are missing the point, or a point, not necessarily the point. There's more points than one, right? It kind of goes back to being a steward, taking care of what you have. And what we have is each other, if you think about it. Deep down, and forget about all the stuff. Forget about what you own, what you look good in, how you dress. When it comes down to it, all we have is each other. And one thing that I have learned through this election is that, and not even just the election, that there's a lot of other things out there that have divided us as a people, not just in the country but on planet Earth. There's a lot of my friends, a lot of people I know, and other countries are looking at us, and we're supposed to be the standard. We're supposed to be the standard of the free world. Now, just forget about all the politics for a second. Forget about, different conspiracies out there that, the military is there for this reason or that reason. Let's forget about that for a second. We're supposed to be the standard. What does it make us if we're bringing the place down? If all of a sudden the world ends because our candidate didn't make it, what does it say about us? And I would say it makes us look extremely bad. It's embarrassing. I mean, it's already embarrassing enough for other reasons. But let's get past that. Let's move on. Let's pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and say, you know what? It is what it is. But let's make the best of it. Let's not walk with our heads down and say, oh, life sucks, And I know people like that. Unfortunately, it's like the end of the world to some people. And I get it. I understand. I know how you feel. I'm not saying your feelings are invalid or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying give the guy a chance. He doesn't even go into office until January, but I would give the guy a chance. And if I'm wrong, about giving him a chance, I'm wrong. I didn't vote for the guy in the first place, but I'm just saying, give the guy a chance. People gave Obama a chance. People thought that was the end of the world. People thought he was an antichrist. It's 2016. I mean, we're still here. Now, I know, and I watched a few videos of my favorite YouTubers on YouTube. And there's some valid points about Obama's administration. And I go back to saying, well, he's not a perfect person. And there's a lot of things that, he inspired. His whole platform was change, change. Change. What has changed? And I don't want to go really deep into it, but I want to say this. It doesn't matter who the president is, okay? I mean, it does, but when you look at the perspective of, like, what real change is, it's not the one guy in the White House or the one woman in the White House. It's not. Change actually begins with you. It begins with me, begins with you, each and every one of you. That's where change starts. And if you can't comprehend that, if for some reason your whole life revolves around one person that is supposed to change your life, that means that everything in your life comes from external forces. And you have no control of your life. Well, I'm going to tell you what, and I'm still learning this. I'm still figuring out this whole thing. I'm not a perfect person. I'm definitely not as far as I could be. But I do know, and I believe, that if we change ourselves, we can change our surroundings. If we don't like something, you have a choice. Some people don't have a choice. A lot of people don't have a choice. A lot of people live in poverty. You know what, though? After going to the Philippines a few times, I learned a few things about people. A lot of people over there live in poverty. I mean, poor, like really poor. And I've learned this. Some of the poorest people can be the happiest people on the planet. Hands down. And some of the richest people can be the most miserable people on the planet. It all has to do with how you think. How do you live your life? What does it revolve around? What is your passion? Things like that. That's the important thing. That's where real change comes within. If you believe it comes from without, there's always going to be the external force. You're always going to have someone to blame about why life isn't great. I mean, yeah, the president can affect things. That's his job. That's his or her duty as a representative of the United States. Or even whatever, your prime minister. That's their job, right? They're supposed to represent the people. Now, if it don't represent the people, then that is a problem. And that is a whole different story, my friend. But you believe, and you have to really believe in yourself. I'm going to ask you again, who are we? But a better question is, who are you? And are you going to rise up from the ashes? Because I know people that it's like the world just ended because they didn't get what they wanted. That disappoints me because I have faith. I have faith in humanity as a whole. But when I see this crazy stuff going on, hearing about California, annexing from the United States, stuff like that. I mean, Texas wanted to do it when Obama got in the White House. I don't ever see it happening, but it makes the news. It makes ratings. They call it the Cal exit. I mean, can't you be more original? I know we got Brexit, but really, come on now. Anyways, change. It starts with you. And not just You, not just us American citizens, but everyone around the planet. It starts for each and every one of us as a global society. That's what I believe. But I still have faith in humanity. I mean, I see a lot of bad stuff every day. I hear about a lot of horrible things. Horrible things. But I won't give up. I won't give up on humanity. I won't give up on myself because I know it starts with me. And if I can just build myself up and then help somebody else do the same, that's called inspiration. That's where change starts, right? So it doesn't matter who's in the White House. It doesn't matter who's running the show. It doesn't matter who your boss is. Believe me, it does matter in some sense. But you know what I'm saying. You can change what you don't like eventually. Over time. But hey, Trump might be a good president. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But it is what it is. And all we really can do is to make the best of it. For real, man. For real. Life is a lesson. We don't always get what we want. But we do have a choice. We can choose to hold our head down in despair or hold our head high and be proud of who we are. It's not only Americans, but global citizens of this world, of planet Earth. Because really, it's all we have. And if we screw it up, there are no second chances. Remember that. This is your host, Michaud. I want to thank you for coming. This is it for now, at least. Look for my next cast. And if you have any ideas of different episodes and shows I can do in the future, please put in the comment section below. And as always, I appreciate you coming, tuning in, and please like and subscribe as always. And if you think somebody else will benefit from this, please share it. It's been real. Cheers. I'm not advertising anything. This is blank. I actually got this canister a few years back at my school. This light is so bright, by the way.